Impulsive eating solutions, how to deal with impulsive eating, especially if you're someone who's trying to lose weight. Now, impulsive eating is like, when you are trying to, you plan something, you decide something, and you just see yourself like, eating against your will. Like it feels like someone else made you do that. You didn't want to do that. Like really, you didn't want to do that. That was decided, and you just see yourself do that. That is impulsive eating, and it can be habitual eating, as in it's a habit to eat that way, and the habit just kicked in. Or it can be just emotional eating, where the emotion is so strong that you're trying to eat to make the emotion go away. So let's talk about that. This is very important, especially if you're trying to lose weight, especially if you are trying to lose weight on your own without like hiring out people, or you hire out people but you still want to like have that freedom around food decisions, right? And if you decided that it's not easy to make those decisions, let's just be honest, but even if suppose you made those decisions, like say you don't want to add sugar in your tea or coffee, and you see yourself having sugary stuff in your tea and coffee, like you just adding that, or you're out on a weekend or you're with friends and you just like say yes, and then you start having it and you don't know how to say no, or just like stop doing it, like you just see yourself consume it, right? So this is it's a type of eating where it's a type of habit. Basically it's nothing to do with your character. We will internalize it as like something is wrong with me, and this is unfortunately true for every human who is overweight, because we think that we should be able to use our willpower, use our emotional strength to just like say no to these things. But the thing is, this is not like smoking or drinking, right? This is socially acceptable. Eating the way we eating the food that we eat is socially acceptable. In fact, if you don't eat the way you eat, you are going to be excluded from a group. Like there is that fear of rejection, right? So we just like build those habits, like they're harmless, right? Like they don't particularly harm you. Like sugar in tea and coffee is something which we have had as Indians since childhood. Not coffee, but tea. Yeah. So, but now there is diabetes, like in your 40s, there is that real fear, right? That, okay, if I don't look into this, I might get diabetes. I might gain a lot of weight. I might like completely dysregulate my periods. Or even in your 20s, it will dysregulate your hormones some way or the other. Either you will break out into acne on your back, on your face, everywhere, or you might have hair loss, or you might have a period disturbance. Like your body will suffer with such kind of foods. So what we normally do is like we recognize it. Oh, this just happened, and instead of like recognizing that it's actually just a habit and which can be broken, we go into a different route, which is like, oh, I'm actually not a good person. I don't have this sort of strength. And there are these other 20 things which are not good about me today. And you just like enter that part of your brain, which is like evidence of how Rashmi is bad. So you just enter that world. So you have to check yourself which world you are in constantly. So what is the solution? This problem of impulsive eating is there, you're recognizing it, and then how do you solve for it? Now the way you solve for it is by allowing an urge, we call it in the mindset world. Allowing an urge, allowing a craving, allowing in the sense letting it come, letting your body feel fully compelled to go and eat, but you don't obey it. You don't give yourself the reward of sugar in the tea. You don't give yourself reward of peanuts. You don't give yourself reward of like starving yourself when the plan was to eat 3 meals a day, right? So that is called allowing an urge. It's because this impulsive eating, this impulse is a reflex response. It's like, suppose you're driving and you see someone come in front of you, you'll hit a brake, right? To stop the car. That's what is a reflex response, so you don't get harmed yourself and you don't harm someone else. Because if you harm someone else, you'll get harmed. So that there is that instant break, right? That's a reflex response. So our habits, if you have practiced a habit like having tea or coffee for like 20, 30, 40 years of your lifetime, that's a strong habit that you'll see someone, you'll hit a break. Or if you see tea and coffee made, you will add sugar and you will put it in your mouth. That's a very strong habit. So we want to recognize, okay, this is the habit first of all, and I can interrupt it by not putting it in our mouth. But then the next thought will come, oh, this is going to get wasted, or she might not like it, or he might not like it, or I can do this tomorrow. No. The solution is to just like don't reward. Like no matter what happened, take full responsibility for it and be like, you know what, I'm just gonna keep this in fridge for later, or I'll keep it for someone who might have it, like your partner or your friend or someone, or just like throw it. It's just like water and coffee and little milk. Like I think we can deal with that. You don't have to consume it. Like think about it. Like so many of us will have this thought that I don't want to waste food, and there are so many people who are like dying of hunger and stuff. Right, yes, that is a very strong value system we have, and we need to look into it and like ensure we don't make dishes for us which we don't want to have. So initially you might want to like let it go. Either find someone else who will use it, or just be like, you know what, this is a lesson for you. If you don't if you don't remember, next time I'm just gonna throw it. And it's going to hurt you, but it's going to hurt you emotionally that you wasted something and it's against your value system. But this is how you learn, so you don't make that dish for yourself, or you don't order it that way, or you don't say yes to your friend who asked for it. So in the beginning, you would have to waste a little, and you're going to be okay. Nobody's going to call you a bad person. There are lots of people who are wasting a lot of food just right around you in your own city, and they're getting away with it. But you don't want to waste that food in your body, right? So I mean, we really have to take responsibility for what is going to, what is the impact which is going to happen if you continue doing that impulsive eating, especially if you want to lose weight, especially if you want to revert your hormones and your health. So like suppose you want to, so there are many such moments that this is a skill, and you can use this skill in different areas of your life if you master it in one area. Suppose you want to master this skill, first master it in weight loss around food, and then you can take it to like relationships, like not yelling at your kids or not yelling at your husband, or like when you're driving, not like honking at people who are like breaking the rules, or like maintaining distance, because these are all like impulsive habits, right? Like impulsive urges to like just like completely react emotionally. So you can interrupt that, and the solution is allowing urges. So what is the process? Now, if you were to try to implement this allowing urges in every area of your life, it's not going to happen. The brain has only a limited quota of allowing doing some hard things. So don't make it hard for yourself. Make it easy by like constraining on just one area. And it might just like look like, let's look at tea and sugar. Like we'll just not have sugar in our beverages, or tea and coffee. We're just not going to add sugar in whatever. The sugar is not part of our life anymore. And then your brain will go for sweetness to fruits maybe, or some desserts. But no, if someone added sugar in it, just like that's a no. Now, we don't know. This is like a temporary thing. I just want you to like give yourself such challenges where you are allowing yourself to like, okay, let's see, remove this and see how it feels. Like no dairy. If you just tell yourself, okay, we're not going to have dairy for like say 2 weeks or a month, and see how it impacts our health, then it's going to be a strict like no dairy. No dairy means nothing to milk. Now, for me, I can have full fat cream, but no dairy. So full fat cream is okay for me. So now I know that because I have introduced only full fat cream while saying no to every other thing. And I noticed that, oh, it doesn't worsen my allergies, or it doesn't worsen my digestive system. So you would have to the first process of allowing urges or allowing impulses to eat random things would be like focus on like one particular group of food where you want to manage your mind. Then you would have to break it down with like what is the pattern. You would have to find your own patterns. Like there is always a pattern even in chaos. So even if you're like eating whatever you want to eat whenever you want to eat, try to find a pattern. Now, initially, you will not find the pattern. You just won't, right? But later on, what you can do is like whenever suppose you decide that, I'm not going to have dairy. And then you'll end up having dairy. Like the other day, I went with my daughter to Lulu to buy some groceries. And then she got this ice cream, the Choco Bar, which has chocolate outside and dairy, vanilla flavored ice cream inside. And she started to eat it. And unfortunately, it just was like almost melted. Like the ice cream, the cooler was not doing well, and they had already paid for it and she had already eaten some of it. So she started to eat and then it was like melting in her hand. So I was like, this needs to be finished fast. So I ate some of it. Now that was dairy. That was like, I had an option to just like go and dunk it in the garbage bin, right? Because it's just like so disgusting. It's like falling all in my hand. Or she can just have it, like be patient and let her have it. But I ate it. I was like, oh, I like Choco Bar, let's have it. And that happened. So now if I think of myself as like, oh, Rashmi, you just have no willpower. You just have no emotional strength. I mean, you're just like such a weakling and you're like this and that. If I start calling myself names, I don't come to a solution like, okay, how do I deal with this specific problem next time? Because something similar might happen again. We do things in a pattern, like we all have habits and we do similar things again and again. So always, anytime you do something which you don't want to do, you need to check with yourself without beating yourself up and going into self-judgment and criticism. Just like take a step back and be like, okay, how can I solve this next time? So for me, next time, if this happens, first of all, I'm going to ask for my money back. I'm gonna be like, give it to the cashier, like take it. I don't want this. This is melting. This is bad. That is number one. Second thing, I'm not gonna eat it. I'm just gonna go and throw it. Or I am not. It doesn't go in my mouth. It goes in the garbage bin. These are the options that I have, right? Like this, I just came up with it right now when I was talking to you. And I do my analysis of like what works, what doesn't work. But this thing I had not evaluated. But because I'm now talking about it, sometimes I will write about it and I will come to solutions. So we need to find solutions, and the process would be like first catch a pattern that, yeah, I have a pattern where I will eat my daughter's food. And then like, okay, next time if I don't want to eat my daughter's food and if this thing happens, I will do this. So now that situation might not happen again. But something similar would happen and your brain is like now working in a different angle. So check the pattern. Now the next thing is like, suppose this is happening, like today morning, what happened? I saw a bigger number and I was like, oh my God, I think I've gained weight and this is fat and this is not water retention, and my brain immediately was like, let's go cut down everything. Let's do a long fast and let's just have dinner, because anyway we are eating in front of TV. So let's just have a late dinner and then we can snack in front of TV and then go to bed. And because why you waste your time and energy? This is because I will upload this later on and someone else will watch it later on. I mean, if you think it's a waste of your energy, you can leave. But yeah, so Azhar, thank you very much for your comment. But if you don't find this useful, you can leave. But this is gonna stay on my Instagram and someone else will watch it. So that's why I'm doing this. So I was, where was I? I'm teaching here, so anyone is open to listen to my teaching whenever they want to listen to it. All right. So you first have to break it down, the pattern you have to break it down into teeny tiny steps and catch yourself how you do what you do. And then you need to go and catch yourself early when that pattern is executing next time. And when you start catching it early and you start interrupting it early, that's when you need to reward yourself with verbal compliment, with like, oh, well done, you caught this thing early. So today, when my brain was like fully like, okay, we are not gonna do this, we're gonna go extreme and we're gonna change the whole plan and everything. And then I was making food for my daughter, and I could smell the eggs, and I was like, oh my god, I need to have these eggs. So I was like, let's just have breakfast. Let's just make the eggs and let's have it. And again, that is an impulse, because I used to eat my eggs for breakfast for so many years. And then I was like, oh no, these are all urges and impulses. This is not real. We already have a plan in place. And if I were to change my plan, whatever plan changes, that can happen on Wednesday, because that's when I change my plan. Today, I allow urge. So I allowed the urge. And I was like, okay, we're just going to have our coffee. We're going to add our full fat cream as planned. And we're going to do as planned. And then we will assess later on whether to keep that plan or no. Because I know the plan works for me, provided I follow it. If I don't follow it, then the plan, I will just like, if I don't follow it, then I have to follow it, right? Like if I follow it, it will work. So, because what will happen is, once you start following the plan, and when you make the plan, then it's easy to catch these urges. When it's written somewhere, not just in your brain, but it's written somewhere that, okay, I'm going to do this. And if it helps, you can put it wherever you want to put it, and then you start following the plan. If you're not able to follow, that means everything else that you're doing is impulsive. Yes. Everything else that you're doing is impulsive. So that we need to catch these patterns. You can catch these patterns. One of the processes is to make a plan, right? Now, last part is reward yourself, right? Now, why is it important to allow these urges? Because once you allow these urges and you see yourself, you could interrupt the pattern, you build self-confidence. That yes, first you thought that, you were thinking, maybe I can try this, I will do this, and then you do it and you're like, oh wow, I think I can do this. So you build self-confidence, then you build like capability. And then once you are like, oh yeah, I can keep doing this, and you fully interrupt that new old habit and form a new habit of like not following the old habit, then you get confident. That I manage my mind around a particular old habit and I formed a new habit. And when you do that in one particular area, you bring the same skill set in a different area. So that's all about impulsive eating. First, catch yourself where you're impulsively eating. Do not beat yourself up. Then make a plan so that you can catch this impulsive eating happen. Then consider what you're going to do when it comes to interrupting this impulsive habit. Start interrupting it. Start rewarding yourself for interrupting it. Start building that confidence, and then one day interrupt that habit fully. And then use the same skill set in a different area. Alright, that's it for today. Now, if you're someone who is interested in managing your mind and losing your weight and regulating your hormones, please reach out to me, message me, and let's chat and let's get together and chat with each other and find out if this sort of coaching, actually mindset coaching, might help you not just lose your weight, but like help you in different areas of your life. All right, that's it for today. I'll see you next time. Bye.